This is the story of how I went from Gloucestershire in the UK all the way to Sydney in Australia via Singapore. So I spent a few days in London and then I made my way via the Piccadilly line to Heathrow Airport. Now, normally I take the Heathrow Express, which takes about 15 minutes, but I thought I'd give the Piccadilly line a try. I ended up cutting it quite fine, and when I got to the check-in, I weighed my bags beforehand, and they were a bit overweight, so I had to repack stuff a bit. Then I had to make a mad dash to get to my flight. And from there we took off to Singapore. The flight's about 12, it's about 13, 14 hours if I remember correctly. So I touched down in Singapore, made my way through immigration, got my bags, and then I headed off. I decided to be a good Singaporean and I decided to take the MRT.
Doors are closing. Change at this station for the downtown line. Expo.
I didn't have, I thought I'd save money and not buy a travel SIM card at the airport. And I bought a bit of, that wasn't the best idea I had because then I didn't have maps to figure out where I was going. So I ended up having to use the map from my email for my travel booking, and I think I got off it was one stop before where I should have gotten off. Anyway, I was sweating like a pig because Singapore is extremely humid most of the time. I got to my hotel and I just spent most of the time sitting in the reception, making good use of the air conditioning to cool down and actually change my clothes. And then I left my bags in and decided to go out. So one of the things that Singapore has is this thing called dengue fever, which you can get from mosquitoes. I was out and I saw signs for it and I thought, I am not getting this. My mother has just died. I really don't need anything else going on in my life. So I went and got what I called my Singaporean starter kit, which is a water bottle, an umbrella, and a can of insect repellent, which would keep these mosquitoes at bay. So after spending a few days in Singapore, then I made my connecting flight to Sydney. I decided I paid for the Singaporean tourist pass for 30 days that I was going to use that to get to the airport. Now, what had happened in the last few days is randomly they would check your bags on the MRT, and one of the security guards wanted to do that. And I was kind of like, I don't really want to do this because I am actually going to the airport. Fortunately, after haggling with a bit, and when I told them I'm going straight to the airport, he let me go. I was going to go, I wanted to see Singapore from like the other side, if that makes sense, like further away so I could get a nicer view of the skyline. But once I got to the airport, it started, as it always does, bucketing down with rain in Singapore, and I decided I wasn't going to leave. So I just checked in my stuff, and then I went through to security. Singapore is different because there's like a lighter level of screening, and then you get through there's screening at every single gate, so you can go around and do shopping in the interim. So I just mulled around and then caught my flight to Sydney, which was, I think it's 8 hours. So that's, to me, was why I stopped over in Singapore. I really wanted to break up the journey. So yeah, after that we touched down. The Australian, you had to fill out this card for the Australian government, this visitors thing, because they're so over the top with their customs stuff. I was worried because, again, I was carrying a lot of medication, but I cleared security, customs fine once I arrived, and that was it. So that's my journey. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. So bye bye.